How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Do you find it really hard to not buy anything whenever you walk into those big box retailer stores? For me, I used to walk into those stores and I would come out with a handful of items, not the worst offender. But over the years, I find myself being able to walk into one of those stores and walk out even empty-handed. Most of the time whenever I buy stuff, it might only reduce to only groceries where I would absolutely consume everything so that I would essentially not have anything left over at the end. I realize that this might actually be a teachable skill. So what I'm gonna do today is go through the layout of a big box retailer store and sort of replay what goes through my head whenever I go through each section of the store. Hopefully this will help you in terms of whenever you go to the store yourself, you'll be able to just as easily repel the temptation to buy all these things just as easily as I have. But first, I'm going to go through some of the stuff that was sent to me. The first thing is from Boondocks. This came from Canada. They make high quality leather goods. boondocksleathercanada.com. Check this out over here. It only fits on the very last buckle for me over here. You can check out the craftsmanship here. Thank you, Boondocks, for sending this to me. Next up is I got these books sent to me. Am I doing what I do because I love it or only because I have to pay my bills? So this sounds like one of those early retirement books. I'm all for it. Next up is this book called Personal Finance and the Bible by Neil Coleman Bridge. Here's a close-up of it. Thank you for sending these books for me. When I have time, I will try to read these. Now, logistically wise, I thought long and hard about how to do this video. I really wanted to bring you guys along with me on a shopping trip to an actual store and show you everything and just kind of talk through it and tell you guys what I think of each product as I see them. But there are logistical issues with this because I cannot actually record inside a store, especially when I am advocating not buying anything from that store. It's a little bit different when you go to a store and you go, oh yeah, you know, this is so cool and stuff, and you just sort of advertise for the store, saying good things about it. Then the store would kind of turn a blind eye to it. But then when I'm making a video where I essentially say, don't buy anything, well, this is like negative publicity. This is sort of like putting down all these different brands. So in this video, I actually will not name any particular brand if I can help it. I'm just going to talk about things generically, and you can kind of have a feel for what I'm actually talking about anyway. So with that said, I'm going to begin. First, I have the layout of a big box retailer store printed out over here so I can just go through each and every single section of the store. First, you walk in a store and you see photos. Now, when was the last time you needed to print any photos out? For me, I feel like all the photos that I printed out before, they just, you know, sit around in a big stack. You don't really need to print 100 photos and just kind of have them around to flip through it or anything. A lot of times these days, you can just have them digitally stored somewhere and you can view them just as well. Now, you can still print a few of them out, you know, 10 of them, right? 29 cents each. It'll cost you like a couple dollars. So, you know, in that sense, you want to display it on your wall, that's fine and all. But for people that keeps on printing out stacks and stacks of albums, I think this is not necessary. You do not really need to print out that many photos. So for this reason, I most of the time pass by the photo section. I don't really need to ever print a photo even. Next up is food service, okay? A lot of times these stores have various little drinks that you can buy. You don't need any of that. If you're gonna get thirsty or anything, bring a bottle of water with you before you go on a big shopping trip. The stuff that they sell, usually it's like pizza, hot dogs. It's all terrible for you. Whenever I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat any of that. Next up is a bunch of jewelry, accessories, active wear, boys, girls, lingerie. Well, suffice to say that, you know, none of those things are for me, so I wouldn't buy any of it. Jewelry wise, yeah, maybe they have men's stuff, but you can see on my hands, I have no rings, no watches even. This is just a basic thing for me personally. And I don't even wear a necklace just because I jump up and down sometimes, and I realize that whenever I have a necklace, sometimes it would just fly up and hit my teeth. For watches wise, I like to work on things, and whenever I work on things, it might be mechanical or something like that. I find that whenever I do wear a watch, I tend to ding it up. It would scratch easily and it would even fall off. So for these personal reasons, I don't wear any kind of jewelry. And because of my preference to not want to wear any jewelry, I don't need to visit the jewelry section or spend any money buying jewelry at all. Even for my own section, menswear section, I don't buy anything from that. Why? Because over the past 10 years or something, I've been shopping and I've have a huge cache of clothes already. And basically, I'm just wearing everything out. And then when they do wear out, I toss them away. I haven't really bought any new clothes in a really long time. The things that you see me wearing over here, I think I spent like, I forget how much, like $20-$30 on this sport coat. And this shirt was basically free. I have videos on how to get those clothes for free. It's basically using their store credit card to my advantage. The jeans you see me wear here, I think I paid $15 or something. I bought it maybe 2 years ago. So in terms of clothing, I have no need for it as well. So this is yet a whole another section that I haven't purchased a lot in. You might wonder, oh, what about underwear and socks and, other kinds of things? Well, I've been basically wearing whatever I have left, wearing them out and just kind of tossing the stuff that has holes in it. What I do have left is pretty minimal, and, I'm fine with having less number of pairs of underwear, basically. Next up is sporting goods. Over the years, I've had many different kinds of sporting goods. In the garage, I have a pair of inline skates. I have snowboarding. I have golfing. I have a pair of bowling shoes. Just so much sporting goods. I feel like I've gone through so much of it that I don't really want to accumulate anymore. In fact, I want to get rid of my sporting goods even. So whenever I look at the sporting goods section, I'm like, oh my gosh, not again. I'm not going to try to accumulate more. I'm trying to get rid of it. So then the way I look at the sporting goods section is like, I better be very into this whatever hobby, whatever sport it is before I actually buy more into it. I have enough. Toys and games, occasionally I might go buy toys and games, maybe a Nerf gun or something, but generally I have no need for it. The whole mentality with all of this, the reason why I'm able to repel buying so much goods is whatever I have, I am happy with the amount of stuff I have already. In fact, I'm trying to reduce the stuff I have. I am happy with the amount of board games I have. Another word on consoles in general. Consoles in my past, I've had plenty of different consoles. And what I realized that I spent a lot of time playing those games, and yet I get very little things that I've actually learned from it. And it certainly does not earn me any money. These days, when you are grown up, you need to spend more of your time to earn money, basically. I feel like video games, it's a pure entertainment type of thing. You need to limit the amount of time you spend doing it to, I don't know, an hour a day or something, or even less. Why do I say so? Because there are a lot of other things much more fulfilling to do than play video games. Now, there's a whole nother section in these big box stores that I always wanted to talk about on camera, which is cleaning supplies. Usually whenever you walk in, there might be like 2 or 3 hours worth of cleaning supplies. And whenever I see those things, I'm like, I don't need to buy any of it. In fact, I have a huge cache of it at home, and I don't even use those because whenever you use them, it generates an aerosolized spray. It becomes in the atmosphere, and then you end up breathing it in. This is definitely not very good for you. So most of the time, whenever I clean things, I just use water, use a little bit of vinegar perhaps. I might make my own window cleaner, and also to remove type of oily stains, I might use some sort of wipes or something like that. But generally, I use so little of it that I don't need to buy any cleaning supplies, and I haven't done so for very long time, couple years already, where I completely walk past the cleaning supplies and I don't have to buy any of it. Domestics. I don't know what that means. Is this like home goods or something? I think that means home goods. You can see around my place that I don't have very many home type of decorations. The main reason for this is I don't want to clean any of it. Usually when it's like kind of fancy schmancy type of leafy type of things, right? It has these decorations. If you have those laying around, it collects a lot of dust, and I don't want to buy things that collects a lot of dust. So it's very Spartan looking, so it makes things a lot cleaner around here. Pet care, I don't have a pet, mainly because I know that I want to travel, and if I go anywhere, I need to leave the pet with someone else. This causes a barrier for me, and I've taken care of pets before, and generally I really hated it because every single day it's always like I have to pick up after their number 2. And when I took care of a pet for a week, it feels like every single day I have to pick up poo. It's just certainly something I'm not looking to do currently, but I know that it will be rewarding enough in the future. It just doesn't work so well if you're trying to travel. There's home improvement stuff generally for these big box stores. The type of tools that they offer is certainly on the lower grade side. If you want good grade quality, maybe you have to go to a proper home improvement store, or maybe buy online. So generally I avoid the tools that they sell at one of these stores where it combines everything. Tableware, I mean, I have too much tableware actually. Once you buy a set, it generally lasts forever unless you're trying to like bend a fork or something until it breaks. If you take care of your tableware, you're not going to lose any. I don't see why they would actually, deteriorate even, because you got your silverware, right? You have it there. All my bowls been lasting me many, many years. I basically don't need any of it unless you're the type that wants fancy smancy new looking tableware. You want a full set, you want modern looking things, so you end up having whatever you have. Okay, it might be mix and pieces of stuff, and then you go, this won't do. You toss all of this aside and then you buy new tableware. This is the instance where you would actually spend extra, but if you're okay with what you already have, then you discard all this idea that you need to actually buy brand new tableware. So this is the position I am in, where, I'm okay with whatever I already have. You have furniture. I don't have much furniture. In fact, I'm trying to get rid of some of these stools that I have over there. Once you have furniture, you don't actually need to buy new ones. Just take care of the stuff that you have. I know my couches over here, I mean, they're getting a little older, but, I can clean them up and stuff. I had them up for a few years, as you guys know from me sitting on this, making videos on these chairs for a few years now. Another one, it says small electrics here. Now, they have coffee machines that you can buy. Currently, I make my coffee manually. I don't even have a coffee machine. I just boil some water in the microwave in a borosilicate measuring cup, and then I have grounded coffee that I ground by hand, and I put it in there. I do all this manually, and I don't have a coffee maker even, and I still am able to make coffee. It's sort of like a meditative thing for me, and I feel no need to buy a coffee machine. There are cosmetics. I know nothing about cosmetics. I know nothing about how you can save money on that. So maybe leave this for the women YouTubers out there. Groceries, I find that at these bigger stores, sometimes they might be cheaper, sometimes they might not. But generally, I buy most of my groceries from Sprouts. I go there instead. Automotive section, basically the only thing I ever buy from there is motor oil. And then you have your electronics. Electronics is like an endless pit over here because there's always brand new stuff that you can buy. I personally need to buy a few electronic items, mainly to make these videos. I know they have brand new tiny little gimbal cameras right now. They always have the brand new action cameras where it has, better stabilization or whatnot. Generally, I think super long and hard about those things, and I certainly would not go in and, once I see that item and I just buy it at the spur of the moment. This is completely off the table for me. So I hope this was interesting for you guys, because this is the mentality I have, where basically I go through the whole store and I go, I have this, I have that, or I have something very equivalent, or I'm able to do something equivalent. For example, the coffee machine, and therefore I don't need to buy a dedicated coffee machine. When I'm trying to reduce the amount of stuff I have, I look at each thing and I'm like, okay, if I buy this, I'm going to eventually have to get rid of it somehow if I want to reduce the total amount of stuff that I already have. When I do buy stuff, I am more easygoing for the things that I can actually consume completely. And at the end of its consumption, I will have nothing left over. So therefore, I buy things like groceries, buy things like fruits and vegetables a lot easier from these big box retailer stores. So there you have it. If you're able to walk in a store and walk out with nothing in hand, why would you actually need to go to a store? I generally go to do some research. I go to look at what's available on the market, if there is something that is a good deal in terms of food. And this mentality has allowed me to not spend very much money, even if I go to other kinds of stores, electronic stores, liquor stores, any kind of store, you know, this type of mentality works as well. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to give me a like on this video. Comment down below. Let me know if this helps you in reducing the amount of stuff that you pick up accidentally when you go to a store. If you're interested in supporting this channel, check out my Audible link down in the video description below where you can get a free audiobook. And if you don't like this audiobook or this service, you can cancel it before the subscription expires. And you can still keep this audiobook for free and help benefit this channel. And as always, don't forget to give me a like on this video, push that subscribe button, and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.